So one, I think we should acknowledge the fact that the live stream that you're offering is better than any other live stream that's out there. Capacity wise, theoretically, you could say
when it works,
when it starts to work, because what are your competitors out there? Uncle with an iPhone, like some friend, family member who's like in a front row, shaky camera footage, it's on Facebook Live.
right?
You know what I mean? So it's like,
It's a different level.
what you're offering blows every other. Hey, he's just gonna put this on a. We got one of those plastic tripods off Amazon and got this clamp that it looks ugly in the back row. Like, that's your competition,
right?
Or there's other wedding vendors who've already kind of experimented in this place and are probably getting a lot of value from this too, because I'm sure we're all figuring it out at the same time. So when you're bringing up this issue about audio, I'm thinking, what if, kind of like what I have set up here, is you have a sound mixer through which you can set up the sync. You can sync all the audio so that if this one has a 0.6 decibel or millisecond latency, you can adjust for that. Again, this is just adding to the complexity, adding to your setup time and all that.
No, this would have to be something you do before. So this would be something that you would test before. And then you say, I'm using this brand of mic. I'm using this brand of mic. I'm plugging this one into this camera. I'm plugging this one into this camera. And this is how it's going to go whenever it's live. They don't switch around because the different brands are going to have different preamps. They're going to have different. So you're going to change your volume different. Well, then, so it's got to stay the same. But you can. You're right. You got to do it before. And if there's any latency, you got to make those adjustments so it sounds correct. You're right.
Just have a soundboard.
Yeah.
I know it's one more piece.
But you can do that inside the ATEM as well.
Well, then, this is something you have to really account for. It's just more fail points at the end of the day. But having the at Low Ulupans, for example, where you have sort of access to the sound guy. Mm-hmm. Usually the DJ is going to be at the ceremony. The DJ/MC service for the reception is typically also offering. A lot of times they'll add an add-on, like, hey, you want me to do ceremony too? I'll bring my own sound system, mics, whatever, right?
Probably 90+% at the time they're going to have it.
But then now the video team is at the mercy of the quality of their gear and how they set it up.
Correct.
So there's that level of like, I don't know what you brought, but I'm relying on it.
Right.
But there's still when it's good. Maybe this is something that you have to consider too, but like if you brought your own central or like singular source that you could rely on, whether that be through a soundboard of your own or through a reliable partner who, I know your system, I can rely on this one output that has like a mic on two people, or maybe it's just the mic,
or it's just the one mic,
which mic at the altar
should work. But how many weddings have we worked that it doesn't?
That's what I'm saying.
You'd
have to bring your own, maybe.
So then let's, since we're on the audio, so then where are we at here? So let's say we use the Pico with the A7 III. We use the Rode on the A7C.
Okay.
We sync those up to make sure that they're right.
Mm-hmm.
So there's no background. It's just I guess a fuller sound, I guess, because it's all getting picked up.
I would just get all the same.
Yeah, you just want it to be even.
I would get, or like all Picos, all Rodes, all Sennheisers,
just get all the same. Yeah. Well, that's a whole nother story, right? Yeah.
Okay. I know. Again, it's like we were just talking about how much money do we want to spend before we make money.
And then you're like, wait, I'm trying to figure it out. So I have like all these different brands and models, and it's like,
that's why I was like, fuck, I'm just gonna get all same bodies. The lenses, you have a lot more free, like,
you just need to know which camera takes which lens. This one lives on this one, or this one has two options, but this one never changes. So you just, when you the more stuff that that needs the least amount of changes, then you can have a little bit more control.
So if you already had your mics that were all the same brand, and you could have either just one all the way up to, let's say, 4 if you want.
Yeah.
Lav wireless mics. Then you could even do it this way where who's going to be the DJ there. Say, hey, I'll give you an output of everybody because you just brought one mic that's on this stand. So now it's like, how many times have you seen an efficient, like, hold a mic down here? It's an efficient who just got their license online last week.
Oh yeah.
A friend of the bride, groom, whatever.
Yeah.
They're not used to using a mic. They forget where to put it. Oh, she's saying her vowels now, but I have to hold this thing that I wrote down. Like,
right, or they read it like this.
Yeah,
or
you know,
way.
like you're relying on so much other factors. Whereas, like, all right, well, you know what? Don't worry about anything in your hands. I'm gonna put labs on all of you guys. Oh, you're gonna have a reading. Okay, great. Here's one for you. Blah blah blah. Right? Maybe I'll even set it up if it's at a chapel or something. Put one at the podium where I know someone's gonna do some readings.
Yeah.
But then all these different sources come into a singular point that you control, that are all in the same brand, right?
Right.
From which you can not only provide a clean output of all of them, no echoing, no latency issues into the live stream, but then also if you wanted to be like, hey, DJ, just take it out from here, from my board, that goes into your speakers that you set up here at the ceremony. You know what I mean?
It's true. Can you do that with the Zoom?
Certain Zooms you can.
The F6 and the F3 or F2 or something?
Yeah. Probably not the F2,
No.
the little one.
Because it's only... No.
The little recorder. The Zoom F2 is like that little recorder.
The little guy.
Body one.
I like those.
Those are
I like those.
Tight.
Those are 32-bit flow.
Those are great, like backups, right?
Yeah.
Put those on the mic stand or
those are perfect.
In the altar. Like those are great.
Yeah.
The 32-bit float, you can recover so much. But as far as
but
you can't
no,
live stream that though.
No, but isn't there another Zoom that it's like the H6, but it's like an H2?
Yes.
Right?
So that one over there in that corner, is that the 6?
That one's like $650 or something.
I'm just like, just
take my money. Don't tell me. Don't.
No.
This is what I need. Don't tell me about it.
Which is actually like redundant as because like I have this, the Rodecaster and that.
It sounds like you got some stuff for sale.
No, but that one is great for in-field recordings when I have like multiple inputs. So kind of like what you're talking about is like I'll put my 2 lavs on there. I could put up to 6. I could put 2 lavs. I could put 1 mic input, and then I have an out. So that out, kind of like what I'm doing with the Rodecaster right here, that out goes into the ATEM Mini that I have. And so this mic, you have source 1, source 2, all the way up to source, in that one, 5 or 6.
Wow.
In this Rodecaster, there's only 4. But multiple sources into a singular, that you each source you can also tune, right?
Right.
As far as gain. And that one's 32-bit flow too. This Rodecaster is not. So you have to be more on point with your level.
You need it to be right.
Yeah.
As right
live,
as it can be.
Especially for live.
Right.
You know,
so then you need somebody at the desk listening, and you're only any of those. Let's just say there's the bride, right?
Yeah.
Because her mic is probably going to be in her dress somewhere, where the groom and the officiant, they're usually on the outside, right? Mm-hmm. Like they clip it to the outside, so it's more exposed. It's more likely to get better audio. So then hers, you might need to tweak. And the only chance you're going to have to tweak that is live.
Or like the few minutes before she's getting ready to walk down, right? And you're kind of like, a lot of times you already mic them up before they actually, in the bride's case, before she even makes the walk.
Right.
So you
she
can
might
kind
be
of have
talking
the
to the coordinator.
People are talking to her. She's probably talking. You can hear if it's ruffling or if her necklace is hitting it. So there's that opportunity there. And there's also... It's always like one of these things where you're like, give this up to get that, because you could just use those nice, I forgot what they're called, but like they're basically felt patches that stick to the body.
Right.
So you can put it under this shirt. I mean, if you're on set, you've probably seen like that version of it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's hidden. But now you have to ask the groom to
climb in
his
there
dress shirt,
it,
take his vest off, and I'm like, hey, bro, take off your clothes real quick. Let me take this on your chest. It will look cleaner.
Yeah.
And the sound is actually really good. I've tried it with the F2s actually.
Really?
So that's a great option. But again, you're live streaming.
You need to get in, and then when you're POW, you need to get out.
Are you going to do that? Like you couldn't do that with the F2 because you can't monitor that real time. Right. It's a set and forget. It's great.
That's for later. That's for later.
But,
that's for the video edit.
Traditional videographers.
Correct.
What you're doing in streaming is I need that real time. I can't see the mouth like this and then hear it half a second later.
Right.
So you're attacking this huge problem. Huge. I also see there's a lot of room for potential.
Exactly. There is. If you can sort it out, then
Yeah.
you can come to somebody and say, hey, look, this is what I can produce. And they're like, all live? How do you do that?
Exactly.